Veronica, I'm going to send this to you, and maybe I'll send it to Eric too. But I trust your moral compass. As the years have gone on, and you've developed so much, you've evolved so much, both of us, and so you know what's going on in this family better than an outsider would. Some of the stuff you didn't see, but I hope that you trust me enough to understand, and you've seen enough other evidence to understand what I'm saying. And I'm sure you talked to Edwin and he told you. You know that there is a weirdness between me and my mother. It never was before. It only happened after I came out of the military, off of active duty, and she had married Edwin while I was in basic training. I came back at Christmas time. Me and Gilbert came back at the same time from the Army, and she had disappeared. We didn't know where she was, what she was doing. We didn't even know about Edwin. So it's a lot of weird things. Like she'll try to say our relationship broke up because she married a black man. And I was so mad that I went in the Army. And she wrote that to me. And I said, Mom, I didn't know you were with a black man because I was already in the Army. I was in Fort Dix when that happened. I didn't know anything. So we were looking for you at Christmas time, and you were disappeared. She was hiding. So anyways, nobody knew anything, and she was telling that she was dating some guy from Panama. She was all full of bullshit. It was all a bunch of lies. So anyways, after her marriage to Edwin, my mother changed with me. And it took me years to understand what was wrong, because I was straight. I was not doing anything wrong. And yet she was so angry at me all the time. And she would want me, but then she'd start hitting me. And you can't hit a grown child. You can't. And then she would get it's called narcissistic rage. I didn't know till years and years, until recently. And she would grab me by the throat and start choking me. And it's terrifying. So anyways, this has been the ugly thing that has been going on between us it went on for 30 years. The last time, it was so vicious, and it was over Edwin, because Edwin had turned off her text messages. I left in 2006, and I came back, and she was infatuated with her eye doctor, Dr. Logan. And he was like 64, I think. He was, about my age. And she thought he was really cute. And I don't know, I thought she was crazy. But anyways, so Edwin had turned off her text messages because she was like hiding and, I don't want you to see what I'm doing, And she was really acting like an asshole, And so Edwin said, you know what, we don't even have free text messages in our plan. So he turned it off. And she went into a rage. And I was doing my workout, and watching. I used to do my weights and watch TV, watch the international news. And she came in, and she said, Argh! I said, wait a minute. As soon as it's over, I'll come and talk to you. And I went in and talked to her after the news. And she says, I want a divorce because he turned off my text messages. I said, Mom, nobody divorces a man over text messages. I said, here you have a phone, you have a mobile phone, you also just use a phone. Go in the other room and use a phone. You have a landline, you have a mobile phone. I said, nobody divorces a man over text messages, especially a man who doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't run around with women. He's completely dedicated to you. He drives you, he takes you, he puts up with you, he does everything for you, and he loves you. And I said, if you divorce him, you will have to pay a man. You will have to pay a man to be with you, to spend time, to smell your breath, the old lady breath, and you have to pay a man to be with you. Man doesn't want to be with you. At your age, it's crazy to do this. She was 70, 78, 79. I think she was 79 at that time. I said, this is nuts. It's too late. Just use a phone. You don't have... And she rose up and grabbed me by the throat and I pulled her hands off of me, and I said, I'm going to make sure somebody sees this time. And I backed her out, and she said, "Arr!" And when we backed out the door, I kicked the door open, and we went out, and she screamed, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. And Edwin started running down the stairs from the office. He got down the stairs, and he pulled her off of me, and she started kicking me because she couldn't get me with the hands. I've never struck her. And then she went, spit in my face and said, I hate you. And spit in my face again, I hate you. Spit in my face 3 times saying, I hate you. And kicking me. And this had been going on for 30 years, but this was the worst of the worst of the worst. And it's unjustified. It's called narcissistic rage. And I had been very codependent to her. Like, I am abusing myself over it. Because I couldn't understand what happened. Somewhere along the line, I lost my mother. My mother was my best friend, my hero. And somewhere along the line, something happened and I couldn't understand what. And finally, her family told me that she was jealous of me. And I said, that's disgusting. That's not even true. And I couldn't accept it. This went on for a long time, and then finally I had the talk with Edwin, and I said, do you think it could be true? And he says, yes, it's true. I started going to Al-Anon. Al-Anon is for codependencies, when you have a sick person. My mother acted like, Veronica, it wasn't you. It wasn't David Michael. David Michael wanted to leave. He said, I never want to see her again. I just want to get as far away from her as possible when he got married. All of us went through this with her. So it's not you. It wasn't him, and it has nothing to do with loyalty. It really doesn't. There's something really wrong with her. And it's taken me a long time to understand why all the lying, why all the BS. Okay, so I go to the VA. I went to the VA for 7 years trying to fix my life, okay? But I just wanted to let you know that there's been this went on for 30 years of the physical abuse. You cannot beat up your grown child. You cannot. It's impossible. That's sickness. Okay, so I left. I called the police that day because that attack was so bad, and I finally, Edwin saw it. So and she admitted it to the police, and the police said, well, you gotta go. Okay, fine. I went to the desk sergeant in Laguna Niguel, and I talked to him about it, and he says, well, she has probably Alzheimer's or something. And they called the nurse out who works with the police department. And they said, and I described what's been going on, and he says, well, that's typical, very typical of Alzheimer's. And I said, but, we can't get her. And they said, listen, this is what the desk sergeant said. I've seen 1,000 cases like this. He was an older, white-haired guy, very experienced. And he says, what will happen is that she'll divorce her husband, and she'll be a victim to another man, a younger guy, and he'll take all her money. That's what he said. So anyways, what happened is that I had to leave. I went into a hotel. I was staying by the marina in Long Beach. I got a good deal, a military discount. And I stayed there until I could save enough money to go to Cambodia. And so I went and saved the money. I ended up saving I saved a lot. I saved, and I lived in Cambodia cheap. I just had to wait until the price of the tickets went down. I was out. And while I was in Cambodia, my mother, they were still married. My mother put $125,000, transferred it into my account. I had no idea this happened. So anyways, one day I'm in online banking, and I open my account, and there's this outrageous amount, and I thought, this is a mistake. So anyways, I said, what, did I do this? Okay, so I called on Skype. I called my mother. She says, yes, I did it. Why? Because you are the only one that's unsettled. I would get in problems. I was going from world to world, to country to country. When I say world, I mean it's like each country is like a different world. And I would go from country to country. I had no place. I had no husband. I was an outcast, basically. And so she says, I just want you to settle down. And my dream had been to move to Spain, but I had to save money. And that's why I was in Cambodia. Save money to maybe I could buy a home in Spain. I don't know, but at least move, you know? So anyways, she says, I want to help you with that, and you buy yourself a house in Spain. And I said, take that money out. Take it out. Because with my mother, there's always strings. And she says, no. Okay, I was living in Cambodia. I stayed in Cambodia like 9 months. And I went to Hong Kong. I went to China. I went to Tibet. I went all through the Himalayas. I went to Thailand after that. I went to Laos twice. I went to the Philippines. I went to Australia. And I went to Hawaii. I took all that time and I went all those places. And I kept asking, take your money. And she said, no, I want you to buy that house. And she kept insisting. Okay? So I made my way back to California. And when I go to California, I go straight to the VA. I always stay because my medical and dental, I do everything there. And I always go to counseling. Yoga, whatever it is that they're offering in the women's clinic, I go there. PTSD, I got 100% PTSD. So I go and I talked to the counselors about it. They said, well, just buy your house. So anyways, but on this roots is I stopped in Singapore. And I met with Maria. Maria is an old friend of mine. She's from Spain. And she gets on the phone and she talks to my mother in Spanish. They talk. And my mother said, yes, I want her to buy the house. I said, are you sure? And Maria said, take. And I said, no. And she said it to Maria. And Maria is the one that told me how to look for houses in Spain online. Because I'd never heard of looking for a house online. And she put me on a site called Idea, and she put it on my phone so that I could look it up. And we started looking at houses, and I would take a snapshot of it and send it to my mother. But I've never bought a house before. I was, scared of all this stuff. So anyways, 2014, I'm in USA. Anyways, I'm in USA. They're getting a divorce. So I come to USA, and she still says to keep that money. So anyways, but this is something with my mother has been saving money along forever. She always does that. So anyways, then they got the divorce, and I went to court. Well, before the divorce, she would say, look, I'm taking these cashier's checks, and she would hide them in the chimney in her bedroom. And they were sleeping in other rooms now. So my mother had taken this bedroom. It was very weird. She started wearing my clothes, and she started, it was a very weird thing that I was noticing. So anyways, I was staying in a hotel. What I did is, I rented a room in someone's house. I didn't live with her, but I would come and check on her. And she showed me, and she said, write down, tell me how much is there. So I wrote down all the check numbers. I don't get involved because she has always done this. She's always taken money from Edwin, always. And this goes back since the beginning. So anyways, but I was aware that this money, she's getting ready to divorce. This money is community money. Okay, this is really weird. I just was really on the spot about this. So anyways, the divorce happened. I went with her to court, and they brought up that there was this $500,000 missing from Edwin's accounts. Where is it? And she says, I don't know. I wasn't asked, and I was like, at that point, I was ready to give back whatever, but it wasn't a part of that money. It was something from way before the money for the house. So anyways, so they made an agreement in court that my mother doesn't get alimony. And she was so mad. She went on for about a year at least that she didn't get alimony. Edwin was very happy with that. That was their agreement. She doesn't have to find that 500,000 as long as he doesn't ever have to pay child support. So, or alimony. So, anyways, that was the deal. And her lawyer, his lawyer called me and asked me about the money. I said, listen, they made a deal. She says, yeah, that's right. So, okay. So I didn't sell her out. I probably should have, because I didn't know. Edwin died almost right after that, like within that year. And I didn't know he put it all in my name. So that money that she stole, 250,000 of it would have been mine. I didn't know. So, anyways, so she took off with the whole thing, and she ran away with Roberto. Now, with the sale of the house was 430,000 or 480,000 each. That was low for what that house was worth. So she had altogether $1 million, and she had her own accounts too. So she had over $1 million when she left, and whatever, and annuities and stuff. She had stuff besides that, and it was gone very quickly. Within 5 years, it's all gone. So, anyways, I wanted to let you know. She did say that I stole that, and so she told Eric, and Eric told Gilbert, which is the right thing to do. If he thought that she was telling the truth, of course it's the right thing. So, anyways, Gilbert called me, and I said, I didn't steal nothing. And I did talk to Edwin about it, and he knew about the house. Now, I had Mom come and help me to get the house, and I wouldn't do it without her. So, anyways, she came and she put 26,000 more. I had given her some of the money back, anyways, because she said she needed a car, and so to give her back some of it, and I did. So, anyways, at that time she came and put back some money, and we put it down, and we got this house. But it took 2 years. In the meantime, Edwin knew about the house, and he knew everything. So there's no theft going on there. So, anyways, and then this is, I wonder if you can see this. Let me see if you can see this. Shucks, I'm opening up this account. The account for her that she transferred the money for a new house here in Spain, that account has 99,400 and some. Part of that is mine. And but that's where my mother's, I wish you could see it. Shucks. Well, anyways, I can send you this. This is the money that she transferred to my account. I never touch it. Never touch it. In fact, the money for this house that she gave a lot of years and years ago, I never touch it until she's there. She knows that. Everybody knows that about me. So, anyways, I just want to get this straight. That money is here. Why it hasn't been transferred? Because she was trying to rip off the lawyer. The lawyer had already done all the work. The agents, everybody, 2 bank directors. We got a loan for her. It's been approved. Everything is ready. The house is ready. Beautiful. Self on the line in my own credit. And then she said in the last minute, she got mad at me. Why did she get mad? She's a fucking narcissist. She got mad at me because she said, I'm coming to Spain right now. I said, you can't. I want to die! And she went like screaming, crying. I got the video. I got it. Everything is recorded. I don't want to bother you with this, but I have it there and I can show it to you. Anyways, so she demanded to come, and I said, you can't come. That was a Friday. So I said, wait, I'll prove it to you. Monday come, I contacted the embassy, the big embassy. Can an American come here to Spain? And they said, only certain categories. I said, my mother is this and that and that, blah, blah, blah. She wants to come with the surgery. And he says, she can't come. She cannot come. Certain Americans under certain categories can come. If I was supporting her, she could come. If I was her means of support, it was possible. But not in this cat. They said no. And I knew it was no anyways. So I know it's supposed to open up at the end of July. Supposedly. They could change it. So anyways, I told her no, and she was so angry because a narcissist cannot be told no. Then the next thing that happened, she says, I want to come to Turkey. Make me a ticket. I said, why don't you wait? You're gonna get you're gonna move in 2 months. You're gonna move into your own house in 2 months. And she was, I have a contact. The contact is from Facebook. It's a Facebook ad. So I was like, okay, because I'd already planned that. She's going bald. So what I was planning was to have, there's a treatment it's a plasma, and they put little, I'm going to get it myself because I saw her losing her hair. I said, man, it's going to happen to me too. So they put little, it's like acupuncture, and they put little needles, and your hair gets thicker. And somebody that I know knew somebody that got it, and they said it was fantastic. So it takes about 3 treatments. And so when my mother comes here, I'd already planned all that. I even have a free ticket, okay, for her and me. So, but I want it now. I want it now. I want to go now. Because everything is about looking good for a man who's way too young for her. And so she's constantly fretting about what she looks like. And it's normal for a woman to an extent. But when you're that old, she's 88, and don't listen to the bullshit. She's 1.5 years younger than the sister that just passed away. She was born in 1932. 1933. My father was born in 1932. They went to school together. Hello. They went to school. She was 1 grade lower than my father. Okay, so when you're that much difference in age, you have to constantly have plastic surgery, and it's really a toll on you. It's really, really, it's really ridiculous. But I understand it in a way, because all girls want to look good, but this is getting to be ridiculous. And I never sold that money. After she told years ago, when she told that to Eric, and Eric told it to my brother, I went to the VA again. I think I'm getting the story a little disconnected. I went to the VA and I said, should I give the money back? And my counselor said, no. They said, your mother is just being manipulative. On God, I swear that's what they said. Because I didn't know what to do at that point, especially when Gilbert called me. And that, it shook me up for people to think that I would do that. And I have no way to defend myself, because my mother is more believable, especially if you don't know how much she lies. So anyways, she's an actress. So anyways, I never sold it. And she came with me. She came to Spain when we picked out the house using that money. And we bought the house. So she was there on the original signing of the contract. But she wasn't there after that. And what my lawyer said is, we can't put it in her name, because at that time she kept lying about whether she was married to Roberto or not. I said, don't marry him, whatever you do. And she did. But she wouldn't admit it, and he wouldn't admit it, and they were like bullshitting. So anyways, my lawyer said, look, if she's married to that guy and she passes away, he can come over here and take my house away. And he says, I can't put it in her name. So that's how that went, because I had said put also her name on it. So anyways, that's how it went. On God, I swear on God, that's how it went. And I'm a little offended that she keeps saying I stole, because what it really comes down to is she wants to take over this house. She wants to move in with Roberto. She wants to move in. She wants this house. She's so jealous. And I'm at a point where I'm afraid to put flowers and stuff on. I have a really nice garden now, and it's really in bloom. And I'm hesitating to put it on Facebook, because, you live... And she comes in and she says, it's a mansion. It's... I couldn't afford it in USA, okay? And I got a good deal. But I borrowed $100,000 from the bank, 100,000 euros from the bank, to fix it up this good. And it is just work. And it's a bed and breakfast. So anyways, that's what's going on. And she's angry now that she doesn't have her name on it. And she says, this is my house. I said, no, it's not. And she's really, really angry about that. But that's the story behind it. There's no theft. She's celoso. We call it celoso. Celoso. She's jealous. Anyways, I can show you... I would never steal. I can't even steal a pen, from somebody. I'm too honest. I'm honest to a point that I'd hurt myself. And it's like, oh, well, if it's true, it's true. But in this case, it's utter bullshit. And I'm very upset that she's saying this stuff. It's humiliating. Anyways, nobody knows, but I have the papers and I can show you everything. The reason that she hasn't had the money transferred back is because she's trying to rip off my lawyer. And he's a contract specialist. He found out that the house that she has over there is no good. I mean, she's going to have to pay sewage. She's going to have to pay sidewalks. She's going to have to get it in her name in time. It's a mess. So that he just read it over and he said, ooh, and so it's scary to take a loan from my mother. And then she ripped off her other lawyer for $38,000. And she told me, give me my money back. And I said, well, two lawyers negotiated, worked out this contract, brought the price down $20,000 for you. They did all this work. Everybody's running around for you. And then you say, okay, screw you all. And I said, no, they already did the work for you. And you have a mood swing. You get angry. And so then it's like everybody, screw you all. No. You had to pay for people because you cannot go over that bridge again once you burn it. And the same, these are my professional contacts. Where am I going to go? You screw them all. She did it to the other lawyer. I'm not going to pay her after she went through all that work. All that work. You can't believe all the work. You can't believe it. For her, we did. I mean, I got tons of papers. There's the receipts. These are all for the FBI, for my mother. These are letters that I wrote. These are fingerprints. Look, the name on there is, maybe it's backwards. Nidia Irma Guzman. Your order number. We did all this work. Then she decides not to pay the lawyer. The lawyer wanted 400 euros. She says, no, not going to. I had to put in 100 euros just to help to convince her. This is from the embassy. This is bullshit. And I said, you cannot rip off people. You cannot come to this country and screw over everybody. You know, I don't care about your mood swings. This is not fair. It's not right. We have so much work that we have done on my mother's behalf. And these are professional people. And when you take their time and you put them through all this stuff and then you say, I'm not paying you, it's not right. Who's the thief? I promise you on God. She ripped off her lawyer, $38,000. Edwin, after the divorce, his bill was $45,000. He paid it immediately. And I pay. Everything I do, I pay. I don't mess around. And you don't do that in another country either. I just experienced. Anyways, I just want to let you know. Any proofs that you need, let me know. I give it to you immediately. And in the attic, I got a lot more. I just hate to go up there and drag it down. But with my mother, even if I show her proof, she says, oh, that's not real. You know, you can't mess with it. She's a sick lady. She's a narcissist. She is of the toxic personality disorders. She is, you can look up, it's personality, it's cluster B. It's called cluster B. And she's cluster B. When you have one of them, she's BPD. It's called borderline. And when you have one of them, if you don't work on yourself, you can touch on all of them, and they're all toxic. And one of the things about it is pathological lying. My mother didn't used to be like this. When she knew Olga, Eric's mom, she was not like this. She changed with Edwin, and it was all about money. And that's what she's always screaming about, money, and she's always pretending that she doesn't have money. She lost her money on a man, and she wants me to buy her a house now. She goes and spends it, and she's going to sell her house and spend it, and she wants me to take, no. I'm 64 years old. I don't have the capacity to take care of her. This house, the money that she put on this house, that was way back when I was in Cambodia, that's it. What I got from Edwin, let me tell you, Edwin only had $351,000. Because he did pay off his lawyer, because he was living in an expensive hotel. I don't know. He also took some trips. He went to see his brother. And his brother, Raleigh, told me that when he was there, he had put everything in my name because he said that I was the only one who was honest in the whole group. But I think Veronica is honest, and she's gotten more honest as time goes on because self-honesty is another level. And anyways, I just wanted to be able to speak my truth, and if they don't believe it, what can I do? But that's what happened on God. And I do have paperwork, but I have it, okay? And I have the accounts. It's all there. It's just that I left out something. The lawyer got COVID, and then after he got out of COVID, his whole family got COVID, and he's the only one that's immune who can take care of all the rest. He's got children. His wife has COVID, everything. So he's all backed up, and he has to give me the list of the charges. And as soon as he gives me that list, and I already told my mother and I told her banker, as soon as he gives me the list, I pay that off, and then I send the rest to her. I don't care about her money. I have an income every month. I am fine. Okay, I don't need to steal from anybody, especially my own mother. So anyways, that's what the holdup is, and you saw it. I'll make a screenshot of this and send it to you. It's still in the account. Hello. Nobody steals anything except the one who accuses. Okay, mi amor. Hasta la vista.